The gruesome truth. King Henry VIII tormented legs. On January 28, 1547, at the age of 55, King Henry VIII of England breathed his last. For the final 2 decades of his life, this once vigorous monarch was tortured by the very legs he once so proudly displayed. Youthful pride and fateful injuries. As a young man, Henry was renowned for his shapely calves, often showcased with garters fastened just below the knee, figure 1. He was an accomplished athlete, no stranger to the bumps and bruises that came with jousting and other sports. Yet, these same legs would become the source of his agonizing decline. Early reports of the king's leg ulcers mentioned an area on his thigh when he was still relatively young. Many have attributed this to primary syphilis, but there's little concrete evidence. While Tudor physicians were familiar with the Great Pox and treated it with mercury, there's no record of Henry receiving such treatment, nor do his apothecary's accounts show mercury purchases. Neither Henry nor his wives developed any other signs of untreated syphilis. It's more likely this initial lesion was a slow-healing infected wound from his active lifestyle. Ailing years and medical mysteries. As Henry entered middle age, he developed pus-filled boils and likely suffered from gout. A severe jousting accident in 1536 was a turning point. He was unhorsed, knocked unconscious, and his legs were crushed. This injury led to persistent ulceration, leaving him unable to participate in sports. Subsequent ulcers appeared on both legs below the knee, possibly due to venous disease. While his garters and shapely calves suggest he didn't have prominent varicose veins, he may have developed venous hypertension from deep vein thrombosis, DVT. History doesn't detail how tightly his garters were worn, but combined with his frequent leg injuries from sports, these were significant risk factors for DVT. Henry's health continued to spiral. He became so obese that he needed mechanical devices to move around. His habit of binge-eating fatty meats might have been a symptom of stress. A recent and credible theory suggests he suffered from untreated type 2 diabetes. The Spanish ambassador Chapuis famously described his legs as the worst legs in the world. Diagnosing the king's ailments remains an intriguing and educational case study, as his symptoms could point to a range of different medical conditions. Death and succession. Henry VIII was laid to rest in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, alongside his deceased third wife, Jane Seymour. His only surviving son, Edward, inherited the throne, becoming Edward VI. Princesses Elizabeth and Mary waited in succession, forever bound by the legacy of their complex father.